morning, everyone. How is everybody today? So, it's Tuesday. Got my cup of tea. I think it's going to be one of those days I'm going to need a cup of tea, or a couple cups of tea, or even some coffee. All right, so today we're going to be talking about one of my favorite things, skulls. Anybody knows me knows that I love skulls. I have skull t-shirts like crazy. I love sugar skulls. They're all over the house. And, why I'm drawn to skulls, I don't really know. It's just something that I'm drawn to. I think it's one of those things at some point it will make sense to me. Maybe it's a past life. I don't know. Maybe there's an ancestor that's calling to me that I'm not listening to. Could be all kinds of things. Someday it will make sense. So skulls. So the symbol of the skull really is, for most people, just a reminder of our own humanity. That one of these days that we're gonna be the ancestor buried in the ground somewhere. So I think for that reason, it just basically reminds people of death. And that a lot of people don't want to think about death, or don't want to talk about death, or don't think they're ever going to die. So a lot of people kind of shy away from the skulls. It doesn't really mean that to me. I just think that it's going to sound stupid, but I just think in their own way they're beautiful, especially the sugar skulls, the way they're all decorated, and they're just so colorful and vibrant, and I just think they're beautiful. So for this topic today, we're going to be talking more on the crystal skulls and what that kind of means. If you've ever had a chance to pop onto the Sage Goddess, to my website, you'll see there's a lot of skulls in there, in all kinds of different gemstones. But they also have unicorns and dolphins and crows, and I think there's elephants. I mean, there's all kinds of other different gemstone sculptures that you can get. There's lots of angels, and you'll see lots of angels on there and different gemstones. So, if skulls aren't your thing, that's perfectly fine. There are other ones on there. So, always can find something that if it's not a skull that you're interested in. But we're going to be talking about skulls. Basically, I decided to talk about them right now just because they do kind of fit in with the Samhain and the Day of the Dead. So I just kind of thought it was a good day to kind of talk about skulls. So crystal skulls just kind of deepen the essence of the ancestral wisdom. Oh, sorry, I don't know what's going on this morning. Kind of got a raw throat. Has everybody got their cup of tea? Somebody drinking some green tea with me? Let me know if you're drinking some green tea with me. So crystal skulls just help deepen the connection with any kind of wisdom, ancient wisdom work that you're doing, which is, basically what we do during Samhain. We do a lot of ancestral altars and ancestral meditations and things like that. So the skulls just kind of fit all into that. And depending on what type of gemstone you're working with, in the shape of the skull will, make a difference of your outcome or what you're looking to achieve. So just a little bit of history real quick. So the use of skulls in society, religion, whatever you want to call it, dates back way before pre-Columbia. But it did regain popularity back in 1924. I didn't know this. I learned something new while I was getting ready for you guys today. So back in 1924, I guess there was a famous adventurer named F.S. Mitchell Hedges. I've never heard of him before, so I don't know how famous he is, but the book says he's famous. And he was a big adventurer, and he took his daughter with him when he was on his adventures. And his daughter supposedly dug up a large crystal skull in the dirt where I guess they were in Belize. I can't say that. And she she discovered this large crystal skull, and it was supposed to have all kinds of supernatural properties to it. So that kind of, I guess, kick-started or re-kick-started the crystal craze of the skulls. I think they are coming back within just the last couple of years again. I think more and more people in our society are kind of awakening, I guess, so to speak. Sorry, I'm having a scratchy throat day. Awakening, I guess, transformation, a new beginning. You can word it how you want, but I think a lot of us are just opening our eyes and realizing that there are a lot of other ways to go through life other than what we have just been taught. And I think people are starting to venture out into oils and crystals and herbs and things of that sort. And so I think that is part of why they're coming back. For some reason in the last, I'd say 10 years or so, you used to hardly ever see anything about Day of the Dead. Now Day of the Dead is very all over the place. And I don't know if that's being commercialized or what it is, or if it's just more and more people are interested in these things and learning about these things and participating in these things. But I think in the last, 5 to 10 years, the skull, again, has kind of made its own little occurrence back into our society. But anyhow, so again, the crystal was used, the crystal skulls were used at the Samhain altars, which was the end of the Celtic year, which is what we are now. So during Samhain, this is the end of the Celtic year, which is the end of the harvest year. They again believed that this is when the sun died and we had several months of darkness, and that during the Yule, this is when the new sun was born. So sun, S-U-N, not S-O-N. That's kind of, you can kind of put the pieces together how that worked. So that's pretty much the skull, was really used, like I said, during the Samhain altars and family ancestral connections and things of that sort, and at the Day of the Dead, which we've already kind of touched base a little bit on those. So they kind of represent, like I said, death. So I think a lot of people associate them with death, and that's why a lot of people just don't like them. Or they associate them with the whole rest of the skeleton, which people can think is creepy and stuff, but it's really not. It is death. But death is inevitable for all of us. It's going to happen. It's going to be there. There's not much we can do about that. So we can choose to focus on that, or we can choose to focus on all the good things that are going on and take full advantage of everything at the time that we have before that happens. But the other thing that the skulls were used for the Celtic and the Samhain was, again, it's ancestral connection, and this is the time of the year when the veil is at its thinnest. So those connections are much easier to, sorry, I'm drawing blanks today all over the place, are much easier to connect and to have that connection. with the ancestor that you are looking to speak with, or sometimes the ancestor that's looking to speak with you. Sometimes we get people that we don't expect to get that have messages for us. So another easy way, if you don't really want to go into the rituals or setting up altars or things of that, an easy way is if you had your crystal skulls, or you can use regular skulls, but I don't recommend that. I don't even know where you buy a real skull. I could probably find one for you, but I haven't looked into it. But if you had some crystal skulls, you could set them in the four corners of your home. That would be really good for grounding your home. It would be really good for, capturing your energy. So if you were going to do that, you would want to sage the whole house, and then put your crystal skulls out in your four corners, because you don't want to set them out if there's negative energy in the house. You want to clear it first, so you'd want to smudge. However you do that, if you want to use a Paleo Santo stick, if you want to use a sage bundle, if you want to use a spray, because some people don't like the smoke, you can also use some incense to do that. But you would want to clear the house, and then you could set your, there would be one in each corner here where I am, because I'm at the end of the house, and then down in my bedroom I would set one in each corner down there, and that's going to keep your house grounded, and it's going to hold the energy that's in there. So it's going to basically kind of hold sacred space for you. So that's a really good way to use them. I use them more, again, towards, like I said, I've always been the jewelry person. So my stones and gemstones and crystals and all that usually are in some form of jewelry for me. Because I think if you're going to have them, you might as well show them, because I think they're beautiful. I do sometimes carry them in my pocket. I do sometimes put one in my bra, because I just can't wear everything in jewelry. I wouldn't be able to move. I'd be too weighted down. But so wearing the skull emblem is also a good way of working with the skull. So you guys know that I usually have my skull here, and see if I can. So there is, oops, I got them upside down. There he is. And again, the lighting's not great, so you're probably not going to see him real well. But that's Bob. That is my quartz skull that I wear. But I do often wear t-shirts or tank tops and things with skulls on them. But so you can also get you always see that I have some sort of little emblem on, and so you can wear them that way as well. Or you could get a real tattoo if you choose. But anything like that, it's just going to be a way of harnessing the spirit and the benefit of what the skull represents. Again, I don't know what, total brain fog today. I don't know what my problem is, guys. Simple words are not coming to me today. All right, so like I said, I wear a lot of the same jewelry, and a lot of my jewelry has got my crystals and my skull. I don't have any other crystal skulls besides this guy yet. I'm sure at some point I will. I have earrings that are skulls and things, but they're not crystal ones. They're novelty kind of jewelry kind of stuff. Skulls are typically used for manifesting. And again, we've gone over the fact that manifesting is usually done at the new moon, which we've already had. But again, I wanted to kind of get the skull topic in here because it does go with Samhain and the Day of the Dead. But if so I guess what I'm saying is if you've got a skull, they're not just used for just that. You can use them for other things. So you can certainly use them during new moon rituals as well. So with that, again, we'll just go over it real quick. You would want to write down your intention. Again, you can use a piece of paper, or I like to use leaves when I write my intentions. You can then take the leaf or paper and set the crystal skull on top of it. And that is going to help, manifest what it is that you wrote down. And again, if depending on what your intentions are, what you're trying to manifest, you would want to kind of research, or I can help you research which type of skull would be best for that. There's all different kinds of gemstones, and you can get them in, the skulls you can get in a lot of those different forms. So I'm going to kind of go over 7 of them real quick at the end here. But you'd set the skull on top of the paper or the leaf, whatever you wrote your intentions on. Then again, you're going to, you'd want a sage smudge of some sort. You're going to light your candle. If you have any other crystals or gemstones that would also help with the manifestation of your intention, you can simply just place them around the skull, or we're going to at some point get into talking about gridding. So you could set up a grid. And, you don't have to go by any charts for a grid. You can certainly just make your own. And we've talked about that if you have 4 stones, you want to go with north, south, east, and west. If you have 8 stones, then you'd add in the northwest, southwest, east, blah, blah. You know what I mean? So those would be your points for your the base of your grid. And then you can grid out if you have more stones and things like that. My stone collection is not that big yet to really do much grid working. I'm slowly ordering pieces, and at some point I will hopefully be able to have enough stones to do some grid work, but I really don't at this point. Not one that would really be very beneficial as far as to show you guys. I can certainly set out 4 stones and the 4 locations, but I think you guys pretty much can manage to figure out what that would look like. This if I was going to grid, I would put this in the middle, so I would put it on top of the paper or the leaf, and then I would just put the 4 stones around it, or the 8 stones around it. And but we're going to definitely get into all that stuff. I just wish we had more time. So much stuff I want to cover with you guys, and I try really hard to just kind of make things relevant to what's going on at what time for you. So again, so you're going to write your intention on a paper or a leaf. Write it on tissue if you really want to. It doesn't really matter. Just write it down on something. Put the skull on top. Make sure you smudge your room. Light your candle, and then you're going to meditate. And again, meditating for at least 10 to 15 minutes. Try to meditate every day, 10 to 15 minutes. I will admit that I struggle with that. I have a hard time with that. But what I've done is I've added a meditation app on my phone, and I play it at night. So when I get in bed, I put the meditation app on, I put my earbuds on, and I meditate. So last night I had one, I think it was like 39 minutes long, so I just listened to that for the 39 minutes, and then I just put on my nature sounds that I normally go to sleep to. So, it can be done. I wasn't sitting in the middle of the living room floor in a yoga position or in lotus position or anything like that. So you don't need to do that. The only thing that I do want to incorporate at some point is when I'm doing that, a lot of times I do fall asleep during the meditation, and so I don't have my crystals with me that I would like to work with, just because I don't want them in the bed. So someday I'll make some time to actually sit and meditate with my crystals and incorporate that all in together. Right now I use my crystals, I wear my crystals, and I meditate, but I haven't really managed to merge them together yet. And that's a time issue, and again, that's my own fault because I tried to put way too much stuff on my own plate. So, time management. So like I said, meditate. You're going to want to meditate, 10 to 15 minutes if you can. I know that's really hard, especially if you're not doing a guided meditation, because if you're like me, while I'm sitting there trying to meditate, I'm thinking, oh, I forgot to get milk. Oh, I forgot to call Bob. I forgot to email Betty. I forgot to do, So it's really hard for me to sit and meditate on my own like that. So that's why the app does help. And if anybody wants the information on the app, I can certainly put that up there. So during your meditation, one of the things I do recommend if you're working with the skull is you're going to want to try to visualize. And again, I struggle with visualizations. It's really hard for me to hold that because, again, my brain is just all over the place and it doesn't just shut down and give me the 15 minutes I want to just meditate. But if you can meditate and you can visualize that your third eye right here, so you're going to visualize your energy stream coming from your third eye out, and you would then visualize it coming down to the third eye onto your skull. Hopefully I'll have a little bit of a bigger skull someday. But you would visualize that energy coming down to here and then the energy coming back. So it would be going like kind of back and forth. And that would be a good way to connect with your skull, which is going to help you connect with your ancestors. So that's kind of it for the skulls. There is a lot more we could go into, a lot more in depth. Oh, I did want to just kind of go over real quick some of the good ones that you would want if you were going to be working with new moons and setting intentions. You might look into red aventurine, black obsidian, the clear quartz, the red tiger's eye, jet, moss agate, and Picasso jasper. So again, red aventurine, black obsidian, clear quartz, red tiger's eye, jet, moss agate, and Picasso jasper. And if I can find some links for those on there, I will just put them in the comments for you. So if anybody's interested in looking that up, they can do that. So for Thursday Live, lost my paper. I don't know where I put it. So for Thursday Live, we're going to be talking about the full moon. And a full moon... I don't know where it is. We're going to be talking about the full moon, and we're going to be talking about the Diwali, I believe is what it was. And again, I don't have my paper. I don't know where I put it. But that's what we're going to be talking about, the Indian Hindu full moon ritual. And again, because that kind of all goes in with, I had told you before, it kind of goes in with the Samhain and the Day of the Dead and all of that. And these holidays are all done, right around this time of year. So I'm just trying to, make things relevant to the time of the year, because I don't want to be during Samhain and talking about Easter. That just... So I'm just trying to make things kind of fall in line and fall into place for you, and things that you would want to know now. I'm trying to cover now. So that's it. I had said I was going to do a drawing or a giveaway for the rose quartz and the transformation sample perfume. If anybody took a picture of their ancestral altar or their sacred space or just a quiet space where they like to go, and unfortunately nobody did that. So I'm gonna just keep trying to plug away here, guys. you know, and I'm gonna keep trying and hope that you know, you guys are gonna jump on board here with me. I'm not gonna get discouraged. So I keep going and going until I get the results I want, typically. Um, so, you know, again, I'm gonna repost this for you guys for a giveaway, and hopefully we'll do it all the way till next Tuesday, and hopefully we'll get somebody that's gonna get that giveaway, because I really feel like it has a home somewhere that it's supposed to go to. You know, that's why I chose to give it away, because something is telling me that that needs to go somewhere. And rose quartz, and that's a good size piece of rose quartz, is going to help you give love and receive love. So it's a really nice stone to have. So I feel like it has a home out there somewhere, and I'd like to give it to somebody. So again, just, you know, put a picture up of your ancestor altar, your sacred space, or just a place where maybe it's just a comfy chair that you like to go sit and read your book or whatever. Just, you know, someplace that's for you, basically. And so just put a picture up there, and you know, post it in the group page, and we'll pick a winner, hopefully. So, all right. So with that, I'm going to say goodbye. I did get some new stuff. I knew I wasn't going to have time to go over it this morning, but maybe tonight I can just hop on for a few seconds and just go over the new stuff that I got, because it is kind of hard to fit it in the mornings because our time is already so limited. So I'll try to hop on tonight and just go over some of the new items that I got, because again, I'm always getting new stuff. I love to try new stuff. I love to see new stuff. You know, always trying my teas, and hopefully something I said today will inspire you to try something new too. So lots of love, and hope to see you all on Thursday. Thanks, ladies. Have a great day.